Hello, Louisiana Beer Review Special Edition. This is a taste challenge, a blind taste test. Had a little production problem here, but so I poured them already. I have Wernesgrüner, Legende. Pour some more. Don't like to do that, actually, but sometimes these things happen. All right, so if you look at these two, now this one was introduced in 2024. Look how pale straw it is. This one was introduced, I don't know, sometime in the 1900s, but the brewery was founded in 1436 during the days of the First Reich, the Heiliges Römisches Reich, and the brewery is in Eastern Germany. And it's currently owned by Carlberg, who bought it from Bitburger. So these brewing companies, they tend to undergo ownership changes, and if you're sensitive to that, that's maybe going to be a problem for you. All right, anyway, so 5% alcohol for Mardi Gras pills, and 4.9 here. I think somewhere on there, they're saying 5%, but I think somewhere on their website they're saying it's 25 IBUs, which to me is too low. Tradition and Saaz hops, and they don't do the IBUs on their website. I never could find it. So Wernesgrüner is imported into the United States, and it's for the U.S. market. It's under the exclusive authority of Aldi grocery stores, who also owns Trader Joe's. They bought Winn-Dixie and Harvey's last year, but this year they sold it back to Winn-Dixie and Harvey's, Southeast Grocers, because they said they had picked all the Winn-Dixies they wanted to convert to Aldi, 220 of them. And they said the remainder, the 170 plus the liquor stores, they weren't interested in converting them to Aldi, so they sold them back to the original owners, who said, yeah, we'll take them. So I think the one in my town is one of the we don't want to convert stores, since it's next store to Aldi, except separated by a hospital, and it would make a whole lot of sense to take the and plus they just renovated the store here, the Winn-Dixie. Yeah, anyway, I just think they're not going to convert it, and well, quite a few around here they're not going to convert, but quite another few they are going to convert. But anyway, so that's the thing. Now, Urban South, you'll find that at any store who wants to sell it around here. Let's go with the aroma. Yeah, you get the soda cracker, the unleavened bread. But you see, the beer has yeast, but unleavened bread does not have the yeast that makes it rise. You know, it's unleavened, doesn't have yeast, so it doesn't rise. It stays flat like a cracker, because it is a cracker. All right, so if you're Methodist and you go to communion and they have the little cracker, what we used to get, you know the flavor. I was raised Methodist, but I converted to Catholic, so now you receive the actual the consecrated host. But it starts as essentially the same thing. All right. It is the same thing. All right. Yeah, not so much the cracker here. Let's go with the taste. Cheers. This has a very herbal, herb. These Saaz, Tradition, Hallertau, Tettnanger, Mittelfeu hops, they have this kind of like herbal, kind of strange, much different than the Citra, Cascade, Centennial, Columbus hops that you get with these American IPAs, which are very citrusy. These have nothing like that. These are herbal and grassy. Although the bitterness level might be comparable in some cases, many cases. Oh, although I think the Bohemian and Moravian noble hops are more demure. This is, it's pretty bitter. It's got a pretty good bitterness note going on. So, okay. Try not to look down. If I see the pale one, I'm gonna know it's the Mardi Gras pills from Urban South. It's pretty clean. Clean, refreshing, easygoing, really nice. These are made according to the German purity law, the Reinheitsgebot. No corn or rice filler. Just water, barley malt, hops, and yeast. I was watching a British video from 1977 made in England, and they were saying it was called The Battle for Beer. And it was like the same thing going on now, craft beer versus macro, and they were talking about, they were interviewing some of the craft macro brewers back then. In those days was like Boddingtons and Whitbread or whatever, big ones, and they were saying, what about this use of corn flour and rice flour or rice? And the big brewer was like, He said, well, they've been doing that for a good while now. They didn't ask him if they've been doing it for a good while. They were asking him, does that affect the flavor? Which, of course, it kind of dulls it out. But I watched the whole film, and it was fascinating. Yeah, I think that one is a little more Americanized here. This one is a little more Europeanized, more traditional. They're close, but I paid $11.99 for a 6-pack of the Mardi Gras pills, and I paid $5.99 for a 4-pack tall cans, 500 milliliter of the Wernesgrüner Pils Legende. So I think this is the Pils Legende. I got it. Has a little bit more bitterness. I guess a little bit more character, but I wouldn't say it's profound like I thought it would be. There's a difference, but it's, if you were rushing through it, it could bypass you, you know. It could throw you. Tell you. But anyway, I like to see American companies do this kind of thing, because, you know, they could have done a flavored beer from Carnival season 2025, just something filled with, you know, like chocolate, coffee, and that could mask a lot of problems. But they did a pure pilsner, and I think there's a lot to applaud them for that. It's not quite up to the standard of the Euro, German, and Czech pilsner, but it's pretty good. So yeah, I would score this one probably, well, it's probably a little bit too over on the herbal character. I'll go with a 9 out of 10. I think that's fair. This one, the Wernesgrüner, and I'm sorry I had already poured them before shooting, but I don't know, sometimes things go awry. Yes, this is more proper, I think. It's got more of the cracker body, the underbody. So I'll go 9.3. But heck, if you see them, why not buy both? This could be a standby beer, $5.99 a 4-pack. We don't get the 6-pack bottles anymore. Maybe that will return. It kind of went away in 2020 during a certain bad period in our social history. All right, so Les Bon Temps Relais, the winner, I'm going to give the win to the Wernesgrüner. Not a great victory, but a slight victory. But yeah, kudos to Urban South for giving a good go. I will say a lot of local craft breweries do give it a shot to put out a pilsner. They don't always work out. They're tough to make because there's no flavoring or coloring added, so you can't mask things like you could with like a recent moon pie stout. But at least they're giving it a shot to do a good lagered beer. So I'm going to end this review by saying y'all go to New Orleans, Louisiana and visit the Urban South Brewery.